Morning, Hamilton. Welcome back to another version of Virtual Coffee with a Cop. As you can see, things are a little bit different this morning, so I'm going to ask for a little bit of patience from everybody. Normally, I have a co-host here, Sergeant John Curtis, who helps me out with the show. He works the camera, he gets things started. He is my partner in crime here. Unfortunately, and fortunately, John has gotten himself promoted to Staff Sergeant. So he's been transferred to another unit. So now it's up to me to try and work all the controls today and get through the comments and try and bring the show to you. So first of all, I want to congratulate John on making Staff Sergeant. John, congratulations. Your future is bright. And if you have questions, type them in, get them through, and I'm going to do my best to try and read through those and answer those during the show. If we don't get to your question and you do want it answered, please, by all means, email us at Crime Prevention and I will get you an answer to that question. Now, I do have a guest beside me here and I want to introduce her. This is Officer Andrea McLaughlin, and she is our Senior Support Officer, and we're here because June is Seniors Month.
It is.
Welcome, Andrea. Welcome.
Thank you very much.
So, while I get things started, why don't you go ahead and tell our viewers a little bit about yourself and maybe a little bit about the department, because I'm sure maybe a lot of people don't know that we actually have a seniors department that focuses on senior crime.
You know what? Yes, we do. Hamilton Police is very unique in that we have officers dedicated to take care of our seniors and our vulnerable people. Most other services don't. We have the Hamilton Police Service is divided into 3 different stations: Central, Mountain, and the East End, and each station has a senior support officer like myself, and we kind of deal with like the middle of the road things. If you call the police service for a call for service and need an officer to come and see you if you're a senior or a vulnerable person, then you will have a uniformed patrol officer. Well, we'll respond to that. They will take care of the call at the time, and then if there's any more follow-up or things that need to be done, then the call, if it's like a minor thing, it kind of gets sent to senior support officers. If it's a larger investigation, then it gets sent to our crimes against seniors unit, which is we have detectives for seniors and vulnerable adults. A lot of other services will have detectives assigned, but with other activities as well. So Hamilton is quite unique, and we actually have gotten calls from other services looking at the way we have our setup, because it's a really good one that services the seniors of the Hamilton region very well.
Oh, excellent. And you work out of Central Station, correct?
I do. Yeah.
So we have someone who does your position in all the stations, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, so in all 3 stations, Central, Mountain, and East End, we have a senior support officer who's there to help support the seniors. And I know your job encompasses a whole bunch of stuff. Maybe you can just tell us, you go out to senior centers, or what's your main focus? Do you do proactive work or reactive work? Do you wait for reports to come in? What's that look like in your day-to-day?
We do it all. We do it all. We do reactive work. So if a uniformed patrol officer doesn't come in contact with a senior who is a victim of a crime, or is vulnerable, or is having issues that no one else seems to be able to take care of them, then they send those reports to us and we follow up. We investigate crimes. We also do a lot of quality of life issues. Seniors are people who have lived their lives and worked their jobs and raised their families and paid their taxes. And now that they are older and maybe not as healthy, physically or mentally, they maybe need a little bit more TLC or taken care of, and sometimes they fall through the cracks. So one part of my job that I really enjoy is being able to make contact with those people and get them the services that they need so that they can live the lifestyle to which they've earned or that they've deserved. I respond to calls for service from, again, reports that I receive. I also receive many phone calls in my office from hospitals, city housing, the long-term care centers and retirement homes, members of the public, families that are concerned about a loved one, and we give on a lot of advice or spend a lot of time going into people's homes, seeing how they are, as well as outreach into the community. We do various presentations to a lot of like city housing buildings or any seniors groups or older adult groups that are in the community.
Oh, fantastic. So you're pretty busy on the day-to-day, I can see that.
You know, and I've been a police officer. I'm in my 31st year, and I've had various positions, and this is the most busiest position I've ever had.
Wow, wow. So June is kind of an interesting month, right? It's Seniors Month.
Yes.
Every year in June we have Seniors Month. What does that look like? Like, what do we do for Seniors Month?
This year's a little different because usually we participate in the seniors kickoff run by the City of Hamilton. That is like a big seniors fair that we go to. We tend to host a series of presentations. However, this year's a little different with most of it being virtual. We do have a virtual presentation out there that is, if you're going to watch the seniors kickoff, that will be, we have a video there for older abuse, as well as we are working on other videos to present to the public as well. So they're kind of coming up, so stay tuned for that.
Yeah, fantastic. So obviously on our social media all month, we're going to be posting tips and things for seniors and for people who have seniors or work with seniors, right? A lot of this information isn't necessarily just for seniors themselves, but people who have loved ones who are of a senior's age and may need some additional attention or have questions in regards to how to deal with certain situations, right? What would you say is the call that you get the most?
The call that we get the most, a lot of our calls deal with financial issues. There's a lot of frauds and scams out there. People are receiving phone calls of, you know, someone pretending to be from the Canadian Revenue Agency saying that you haven't paid your taxes, and if you don't hand over money immediately, we're going to come and arrest you. But, you know, I'll give you let you in on a little secret. When the police department wants to arrest somebody, we don't call them up and tell them we're coming. So if you do get a phone call where someone wants money and they're threatening you with arrest, then you know that is a scam, and you can call the police service, or you can call the Canadian Anti-Fraud Centre and report that phone call and the phone number that they're calling from. There's a lot of abuse from family members regarding finances for their elderly parents or their grandparents. So I encourage any people out there to make sure that you check your bank accounts. Especially if it's a joint account, or if you give you should not be giving your card number and your PIN number to another person, because a lot of times they will go to the bank for you, do what you want, but then they're also taking out other funds that you're not aware of. So just be very careful about anybody that you ask for help for finance from. And then we also get a lot of calls I go and see a lot of people just to check on their quality of life. How are they doing? Are they getting their groceries? Are they eating properly? Are they getting the medical attention that they need? I find a lot of older people, they don't want outside agencies involved with them because they're afraid that they're going to get shipped off to long-term care. And you know what? We're not going to take anybody out of their house that is capable of living there on their own. So please don't be afraid to ask for help, because we find that if someone comes in and assists you with the little things, like maybe to help you shower or meal preparation, then you're not going to fall in the shower on your own and be brought to hospital. Then people do question whether or not you can care for yourself. So I'm really happy when I can make referrals and have agencies come in and provide assistance for people.
So it's not just criminal things that you deal with on the day-to-day, right? There is some assistance with city services and other things to try and help people so they don't become victims of crime, and that they can continue their living alone or in a housing project, correct?
Yes, absolutely. The push right now is for people to remain in their own homes because there's such a wait list for long-term care. And if you have, as I said, a simple service to come in and help you with something to keep you there, then that's what we're looking to help you with.
Yeah, fantastic. If somebody has a senior or somebody and they have questions or they're concerned, maybe they believe somebody's being taken advantage of by a family member or somebody outside, what do you recommend their best course of action to get some attention to that is?
It's call the police. Call and ask to speak to the senior support officer at the station. So it would be the station where the person you have concern about, the area that they live in, would be the senior support officer you're looking to call. So if you're in the downtown area, then call me.
Excellent. And I'm sure you'd love to talk to everybody. And that's for general advice as well, right? So if you are unsure, rather than sit there and be unsure and not know that somebody's being taken advantage of or somebody needs some extra assistance, call the officer and have a chat with them, and maybe they can clear it up for you, because we don't want to see people not get the help they need because somebody's confused or unsure of what to do.
Yes, absolutely. It's rather frustrating when we end up dealing with someone, or do get that one phone call when we're told that there's all kinds of things, like 10 things have happened, and they finally called on the 11th. So if there is any question of whether or not a senior or an older adult or a vulnerable adult needs assistance, then please call us.
Yeah, fantastic, right? And those people are come before us, right? They're fantastic people, and as everybody ages, they need just a little bit more assistance sometimes.
They do, and people don't recognize that. Sometimes they don't want it, but they really need it. And we're here to try to fulfill people's needs so that they can live independently and happily and healthily at home.
Yeah. And I know if you ever go to the Hamilton Police webpage, I know I talk about our crime prevention page there all the time. We do have a senior section there that does have some information for seniors. Where else can somebody go to get information on senior support?
We have our Be Aware, Take Care book, which is a great reference. It covers all like the frauds and scams and the forms of abuse. In the back, there's all kinds of community resources as well, and these can be found at the front desk on at any of the 3 stations.
Oh, fantastic. So if you're looking for more information, obviously try our webpage first, right? If that's not enough for you, you can go to the stations and try and pick up one of these books. And I know there's a lot of good community reference in the back as well, right? For people who might need some extra assistance that the police can't offer.
Yes, there is. I work with a daily basis on many community services in Hamilton, and there are some great services to assist seniors in their own home. And sometimes people just don't know that they're out there. Most of the services are free. So please, if you're looking for a certain service, call for one of these books, or come on in and pick one up, and you can see that information.
Yeah. Andrea, somebody's asking here, who's the senior support officer out of the Mountain Station? Do you know who that is?
Yes, that would be Officer Candice Lay.
Oh, okay, so if you're looking to speak to the senior officer, it's Officer Candice Lay. Call up to the Mountain Station and ask to speak to her, and they'll get you in touch, and you can ask them questions.
Yeah, and the East End Station is Officer David Boyd.
Oh, there we go, right? So you mentioned another department here that you work with a lot, that works with seniors as well. How does your interaction work with them? At what point do you maybe hand off a case to them, or how does that work?
So our Crimes Against Seniors unit, so they're kind of like the CID or the detectives for older adults or vulnerable people. So basically, if it's like a large case where it's like a fraud for thousands of dollars, a serious assault case, then those are the cases that are assigned to them for follow-up.
Oh, okay. And I'm going to make an assumption here. You're first point of contact, right? When you send a call over there, you stay in touch with the person and help the call go through. It's not one of those situations where you just pass them off to another unit and now they have somebody totally different to deal with, correct?
No, usually we all work together.
Yeah, excellent, right? So, don't feel that you're getting passed around because we have these extra units. It's really nice that we have these units, right? Mm-hmm. A lot of people might not have known that we have a senior support unit, and I think it's important that we get that information out there, because as our population grows, that becomes more important. And in Hamilton, we want to be all inclusive, right? We don't want to leave anybody behind, and we want to make sure that we get service out to everybody who might need a little bit of police assistance or just guidance, throughout the city there with the right service to talk to get the information.
Yes, absolutely.
So what would you say your favorite part of the job is?
My favorite part of the job is when somebody who is in need receives that need. There's unfortunately, there's a lot of seniors out there who are just not living up to the lifestyle or the standards that they deserve. I find it, very sad when seniors are put in a vulnerable position because they have developed like dementia, Alzheimer's. They're becoming forgetful. They're not paying their rent, or they're not, paying their taxes or their water bills, or they're not getting their groceries, or they keep falling in home, and they start making some very bad decisions because they're not aware that they need to make those decisions. So when I can get services into those people to help them maintain the lifestyle that they want, that makes me happy.
Yeah, fantastic.
Or the ones who are victims of crime, to be able to get justice for them. As I said, a lot of seniors who are victims of crime are victims of financial crime, who they've worked hard all their lives to save money and have money for when they need it when they're older, and I'd like to be able to help them and make sure that the bleeding that comes out of their bank account stops, so that no one's taking advantage of them.
Yeah, that's fantastic. We always talk about something on the show here, and it's if you see something, say something, right? And I think it's important, whether you have a neighbor who's a senior, or somebody down the street, or somebody you run into at the grocery store. If you feel that somebody is being taken advantage of, say something, right? Because it's always nice to help somebody who can't help themselves sometimes, or that they're too embarrassed, or they don't know where to go for help, or where to start. We do have another question back in regards to the booklet that you had out there, and the question is, what about somebody who's homebound, who can't get to the station to pick up one of these books, or maybe a senior who doesn't have internet access? How do they go about getting a copy of these books?
If you contact the senior support officer in your area, we'll make sure that they get one.
Perfect. So it could be mailed out possibly.
Yes. And just one other thing I feel is important, Jeff, is if you're going to, I know we keep encouraging you to call the police or call a senior support officer. And senior support officers work 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. Monday to Friday. And it may take a day or two from the time that your phone call is left or a phone message is left for us to get back to you. So if you are calling about a serious incident, or one in which that needs to be taken care of immediately, then you need to call either 911 if it's an emergency, or you need to call the regular police number of 905-546-4925 for more of an immediate response. Because I've had some phone messages where they've been, quite serious incidents where I didn't get it for several days, or come back in on Monday when someone's called on Friday. So I just want to make sure that your call, if you're going to call a senior support officer, it's for a non-emergency reason.
Yeah, that's great information. And if you do happen to call for an emergent situation and you get a patrol officer or a detective working on one of the units, be rest assured that they will pass along the information to the senior support officer, where we can draw on their expertise to help assist somebody who's in need.
Yes, because we're a team.
Fantastic. Yeah, we always like that team aspect at Hamilton here. I'm running out of questions. Is there anything that you want our viewers to know about senior support, or something we haven't talked about already?
Okay. I find it's very important, I think I mentioned it before, is check your bank records. Keep an eye on what's happening at your bank. A lot of seniors, they don't have next of kin or contact information, or they don't have a power of attorney. So a power of attorney is someone who you've appointed when you are of sound mind to make decisions for you if the time ever comes where you're incapable. Because I find we come across a lot of cases in which someone maybe has developed dementia and is now not really capable of making their own decisions, but they have nobody else to make the decisions for them. So it takes a little bit for us to get people in place to help them with that. So if you have someone that you trust, perhaps you can look into or think about appointing someone as a power of attorney, because when you need that person, then they're very valuable. Also, if we get a lot of calls for people coming to your door, or phone calls in which people want money. So if you've received a phone call where the person on the other end wants money or wants you to transfer money. If you've never sent a wire transfer before, why are you going to send that to a stranger who's calling you on the phone or contacting you over your computer? Also, just because someone's knocking at your door doesn't mean you have to open it up and let them into your home. Just be very careful who you open your door to and make sure that you know who they are. A lot of times, you know, people have PSWs or personal support workers that attend, and they get, especially I've found this incident in apartment buildings in which people will come and knock on the door and pretend to be a personal support worker, and the older person just kind of lets them in, and then they steal something and they leave. So just make sure you know who it is when you're speaking to someone on the phone or answering your door. And don't give your personal information to someone who phones you that you don't know who they are. If it's your bank saying that they're calling you and they need to confirm something with you, then you know what? You need to call your bank back or attend your bank to give them that information, because it's probably a scammer on the phone.
Andrea, thank you. That is excellent information. I appreciate you taking a few moments out of your time today to come and speak to us and to advertise your unit a little bit. It is Seniors Month, so watch us on social media all month, Hamilton. We will be having posts and tips and tricks and things to try and help and assist you and those, you know, that are dealing with seniors. It may not be the seniors themselves, but there's somebody out there who's working with seniors who has an elderly parent or somebody who needs a bit of guidance maybe and some information. So look for that information. Go to our webpage if you can. Get a hold of this book, or if you need to, call the senior support officer. Thank you, Andrea. I appreciate it. Thank you, Hamilton. Stay tuned for another version of Virtual Coffee with a Cop.